We are receiving reports that Shehbaz Sharif, who is the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, has gone to the residence of Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. And remember, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari was also a candidate in these elections, and we are awaiting the final declaration from the Election Commission to find out who indeed has won the elections and would become the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. Right now, the independent candidates have the majority because they've amassed 121 seats in the National Assembly as of now. And what you're seeing on your screens right now is images from Pakistan, where we understand that former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, has visited the residence of Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari was a candidate in the just concluded February 8th elections. And I've been talking to Adnan Kaiser, who's a foreign affairs expert and former commissioned officer, having served in international diplomacy. Adnan, before I let you go, what or how can we look at this latest development going forward?
Well, obviously, you know, there are no two ways about it. That we had a predetermined conclusion that this time there's going to be a national government. So the military had very clearly had elaborated this thing, that, you know, there had been a hybrid kind of a governance system in Pakistan, and that had to continue. In view of the extremely precarious economic situation of the country, there are no other way but to have a consensus national government with all the political parties taking part into it, and so that to steer the country out of the economic morass. So this, whatever is happening, is part of the play, and this is going to end up into a national government and coalition alliances taking place. The independents are going to put their weight behind the chosen prime minister, and then everything will be hunky-dory for the Parliament of Pakistan.
All right, so I'm talking to Adnan Kaiser. He's a foreign affairs expert. Stay with me, Adnan Kaiser. Let me bring in our Pakistan Bureau Chief, Anas Malik, who's joining us live from Islamabad. Anas Malik, this is the latest development that we are receiving in our newsroom right now. We understand that PMLN Chief or Deputy Chief Shehbaz Sharif has arrived at PPP leader Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's residence. What do we know so far about this latest development?
Well, this is the first official contact between the Pakistan People's Party and the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz. We're playing out those visuals, I believe, and in those visuals, I can spot Asif Ali Zardari having a meeting with Shehbaz Sharif and Bilawal Bhutto receiving Shehbaz Sharif when he arrives at the Bilawal House in Lahore. Now, interestingly enough, Shehbaz Sharif is accompanied by Ata Tarar, Shahzad Fatma Khwaja, and Malik Ahmed Khan, which is a really interesting composition. The Pakistan People's Party and Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz will be deliberating together on possible avenues of a government formation, a coalition as well. But what is the final decision? It has to be endorsed by the Pakistan People's Party's Central Executive Committee, pardon me on that. And the Central Executive Committee is to meet tomorrow, that is on the 12th of February, on Monday, here in Islamabad, where I am at the Zardari House, not far from where I am. And they will then be deliberating with regards to the meeting that is being held currently right now between the PMLN and the PPP leaderships with regards to a possible government formation formula. Now, it is really interesting, Eric, to note here that the Pakistan People's Party has been very categorical and clear with regards to the future course of action as to what they would want. They've already nominated Bilawal Bhutto Zardari as their prime ministerial candidate, whereas there seems to be some confusion on the part of the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz. So with this meeting, can there be a new name emerging from the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, or will Nawaz Sharif still continue to be the prime ministerial candidate, or there can be a twist in the story? I mean, everything's all up in the air, and we'll get to know the answers to that in a very short while from now, Eric.
Anas Malik, what are the Election Commission saying about the elections that were conducted on February 8th. We are receiving reports of some delay here and there. What's the latest from the Commission?
Well, the latest is that the result transmission has been completed. It has been notified. It has been announced rather, and not notified. Out of the 265 seats on which direct elections were held, it is pertinent to mention here that Pakistan has 266 seats on which direct elections are to be held. But one seat, a National Assembly seat, the election was postponed due to the death of the candidate. So 265 seats went to polls, out of which one seat has been withheld. So that means 264 results were to be announced, and they have been announced. And the independents rather, mostly backed by the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, they're in the lead with 101 seats. Then it is the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, whose deputy leader or the president is Shehbaz Sharif, who's just got in there at the Bilawal House to meet the PPP leadership. The PMLN trails behind it 75 seats. Then it is the Pakistan People's Party with 54 seats, and then it is the other parties who have the numbers. But significantly enough, the PTI-backed independent candidates are those who are on a clock right now, who either need to join a new party, form a new party, or maintain their independent status over the course of next 60 odd hours, and they have to inform the Election Commission with regards to that. Eric.
Anas Malik is our Pakistan Bureau Chief. Stay with me, Anas Malik. I also have Adnan Kaiser, who's a foreign affairs expert. Adnan, this question goes to you. We are talking about coalition governments here. How many do you see, or how many coalitions do you foresee? And for that matter, which coalitions are we talking about here?
Well, I'm not talking about any coalition. You see, there had been MQM and Nawaz League had an alliance in the past as well. So obviously they're going to come together. There had been a rapprochement between former PMLN-Q, Shujaat Hussain, as well as Nawaz Sharif. So there might be a possibility that they join hands together. So the point is, which I am trying to make, is that I foresee a national government comprising of all the major political parties joining hands together. And in the light of today's statement, which came from the army chief himself, suggesting to the politicians to end polarization in the country and go for alliances and coalitions. So obviously, and after that, Imran Khan has also come up with this statement that he is on board. So and Nawaz Sharif has already given his statement acceding to the army chief, to what the army chief has said. So everything seems to be, setting up into place. So with this Shehbaz Sharif and Zardari meeting, obviously there going to be some kind of a deal which is going to take place. Mariam Nawaz may take over as the Chief Minister of Punjab, and Bilawal Bhutto might be given a chance to lead the national government in the center or in the federal government.
Mr. Kaiser, stay with me. Anas Malik, coming back to you. PTI-backed winning independent candidate called Wasim Kadir from Lahore's NA 121 constituency has joined PMLN. How many independent candidates do we foresee jumping ship?
Well, among the 101, at least 10 are those who are backed by other parties, significantly by the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, at least 8 of them. So the PTI-backed candidates are at about 91. But this particular case, Wasim Kadir, there are two accounts, and I think we need to shed light on that. Number one, Wasim Qadir's own Facebook page alleges that he was abducted last night, and then he pops up with Mariam Nawaz in a video. That's an allegation. It needs to be probed. Number two is that the history of Wasim Qadir, he was part of a group that was in opposition to Mariam Nawaz, and he had a rift internally with the PMLN. He was previously PMLN as well, and then after the rift he went on to join the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. So essentially he's coming back to the party from where he had started his politics from. That being said, with regards to your question, question particularly, I think the 8 seats that the PMLN already had backed the independent candidates. That plus, I think 4 or 5 of them can jump ship, but not a significant number. Eric?
Mr. Kaiser, coming back to you, you did mention the army when we started talking. They congratulated every member who has won in these elections. They also congratulated the Election Commission for conducting what they're calling a free and fair election. Will they also congratulate the Prime Minister, and that is Nawaz Sharif, if he's declared the winner?
I don't think Nawaz Sharif has been declared a winner, but they are going to, obviously, whosoever is going to come up in a lead role, the army would obviously congratulate the winning candidate. But I don't, there are still miles to go. And obviously, you know, the army has a major role to play in the political system of Pakistan. There had been international condemnation, wide international condemnation in different newspapers and channels of Army's role in the politics. That is a different thing that people mostly do not understand the dynamics of Pakistan's politics, in which the Pakistan's army and the military establishment, intelligence apparatus has to play an active role. You know, the constitution is very weak. It's a feudal constitution. There have been no land reforms and other things, but that is why. But the army is obviously, you know, they're going to support whosoever is going to be the winning candidate as the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
All right, I've been talking to Adnan Kaiser. He is a foreign affairs expert and also former commissioned officer, having served in international diplomacy. Mr. Kaiser, thank you very much for all your insights and for talking to WION World is One today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.